When students develop the ride skill sets and the mastery, and the victories are truly theirs, it is empowering, it is liberating. It takes a lot of courage to be wheeled up our ramp and to be lifted by hand or use our manual lift onto horseback. And when that rider discovers that their body can influence a 1,000-pound animal, it causes hearts to soar. It's a beautiful thing to see happen. When you become involved in this program and you can see how lives are being changed through the love and care that these horses are providing. We always say, changing the world one ride at a time. Well, it truly happens. Our students, they're gaining in emotional strength, physical strength. The horses are a big, big component of what we offer, but it's the complete picture of involvement here at Camelot that they really grow in body and spirit.
My name is Kelly Canoto. I'm 33 years old. I love riding. I've been riding since I was 3 years old, and I'll be riding as long as I can.
Kelly has multiple disabilities. She is speech impaired and intellectually disabled, and she has a lot of physical disabilities, but she has many gifts.
I know the people at Camelot are very, very responsible. They're experienced instructors. You can rest assured that your children will be safe. They'll learn, they'll come home with a smile on their face, and they'll want to come back the next time.
It's just an incredible program for Kelly. It's emotional, it's physical, it's intellectual, to strengthen her body, her hips, her back, the ability to do something that you love and that you do well. It made such a difference in her. It allows her to reach her potential, to do different things, to be more independent, and she's never had that opportunity before.
Halloween 2014, Kiara was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and quickly we found out that it was cancerous and had spread to her spine. And right after her brain surgery, she lost all of her motor skills. We just watched her fight every single day. And when horse therapy was suggested to us, she loves horses. And what we loved about Camelot was it's not just about show up, get on the horse, do your therapy, leave. She's immersed in it.
They have this really cool ramp. It goes way up high so you can get on the horse. The horses, they're beautiful and they're fun to ride.
I'm just so grateful for Camelot because they're fighting alongside with us. I have such trust and peace that when she's there, they're right there beside her, fighting with her and believing with us that she's going to get to take those steps again and walk on her own again.
Just watching Kiara thrive in that environment, what it's been for us as a family. Camelot, it's really truly one of the blessings in our life.
We have a very simple fee structure. We don't charge anything for our services. Since inception, we have been free. You cannot assign a price tag to the dignity and the freedom and joy that someone receives while riding horseback. So we don't charge our students anything for services.
We're so blessed that we found Camelot and the program, because after everything that she's been through, she deserves a place where she's a star, and it's something that she cares about, and the therapy is really, really good for her. You know, really for us, if we had to pay out of pocket for this, we wouldn't be able to give it to her.
By joining our roundtable, you can rest assured that your funding and your support is directly changing the world, one ride at a time. You can witness our students' growth and mastery of skills as they ride their horses and look to the future. They're going to see stronger health, greater independence. It's amazing to watch their relationships grow. The horses just change their lives dramatically.
Thank you, Mary, for giving Kelly the opportunity to be a part of a tremendous program like Camelot. It allows people like Kelly to achieve goals they may never achieve otherwise.
You have to go. You have to see what a beautiful place it is, and I think that it'll change your world. I know it's changed ours.
I've always told people that once they come through the gates of Camelot, they won't ever want to leave. It happened to me, and it can happen to you too. Well, hello everybody, it's happening. We are live. Welcome to our 12th annual Starry Nights fundraiser. My name is Mary Hadsel, and I am the Executive Director of Camelot Therapeutic Horsemanship. I came through the gates in 2002 and took the reins from our founder, Eileen Shahusky, when she retired in 2004. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to serve this amazing program. Thank you for joining us tonight. So while you're watching tonight, you're going to have your best experience possible if you use two devices. You might want to have your computer open to watch the live feed, and then use your telephone, your iPhone, or a tablet to participate in our auction. We also want to let everyone know that you can continue to buy stars and be entered in our sweepstakes drawing until 6:30 this evening. don't want to miss that opportunity. And for anyone that has only one device or is not clear on how to access our online auction, you can scan our QR code or you can just type in the URL in your computer. You can also pick up the phone and call 480-515-1542. We'll get you right to the ranch where we have Robin and Shirley standing by to lend a hand.
A little louder.
I'd also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. This event wouldn't be what it is today without the generous support of our sponsors. Earlier we had our banner up and we have just a record number of sponsors this year. So thank you. Both our title sponsor and our dream shooter, our top levels of sponsorship, have asked to remain anonymous. Thank you for your quiet and very generous giving. While I'm saying thanks, it's important for me to reach out to our very small event committee. There are a few people that work very hard behind the scenes to make this event happen. Ray Klein, he's our master, he's our wizard behind the curtain. Anna Zell, she does just hours and hours of work on our event platform. I'm indebted to both of you for all of your support. We've got Robin and Shirley, they work tirelessly on our auction, so thank you to the committee.
Need to be louder.
As well as our event committee, I'd like to thank our auction contributors. I'd like to thank all of our donors that have participated up until this time, so thank you very, very much for your support. And now, I understand we've got Ray coming on the screen to talk to you and do the reveal for the mystery hot air balloon adventure.
Hi there. Once again, we're lucky. We're going to the Valley of the Gods. It's going to be a 3-day adventure. You're welcome to join us all 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the last weekend in April. And we hope you will join us. I've had a couple of questions about weight limit. How much weight can the balloon carry? It's a sport balloon. If two people are comfortable riding side by side in a Porsche, you'll be perfectly happy in the balloon. I did the weight calculations today, and in the Valley of the Gods in April, I should be able to lift about 350 pounds. So if you have a couple of nephews that are sumo wrestlers and they want to go for a ride, I can take them both, but one at a time. So join us. Come share a sunrise with Mary and I at the Valley of the Gods. And if you would go and scan the QR code, you'll go to the silent auction so that you can bid, or you can type in camelotaz.org/SK2021, or call the office, and Shirley and Robin are here. You can make a proxy bid. So we look forward to seeing you in the Valley of the Gods. And here are a couple of other items that are on my favorite list for the silent auction.
So joining me this evening in our in-office studio is Hannah Briso. Hannah is Camelot's principal riding instructor and volunteer coordinator. Everybody loves Hannah. Please join me.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Hannah. I just want to say thank you to Alexis, Michelle, Jeannie, Alicia, Katie, and Rico for your comments. We are getting them up here on the screen. We can see. So please, everyone, continue to participate in those comments and the likes and the hearts. That's it's really giving us the feeling that you are here with us. It's not just about Hannah and Mary, although we do have fun, just the two of us, as you know. But Camelot is really based on that round table philosophy. So we really feel your energy here. We're just so happy that, hey, Phil, that you are all watching. I know Chuck, Chris, Rebecca, Alicia, you guys are all watching. We've got Shirley and Robin in the next room. So this is a really fun night for us. Thank you for being here. And I would like to introduce... Was it us? Is it still
It's
just
back
us?
us again.
Mary!
It's Mary and Hannah. I was expecting Anthony on the screen.
It's always an adventure.
Um,
Even here in the office. So we have a really great night planned for you. We have some fun, exciting surprise interviews coming up. We have more videos. If you watch the pre-show, we had an excellent video with some former students. Kelly, who's still a current student.
Yeah, I can't help but when I watch these videos and I see the faces of our riders and our volunteers working together. I mean, I've been here 20 years. I still get very emotional watching that. It's that video was very powerful.
I was getting a little bit teary and trying to hold it together. I am wearing a tiny bit of waterproof mascara, so thank goodness. But all of our angel horses who have gone, you know, our students and our volunteers will remember Paladin and Kayana and Scout. But it's so fun and so moving to see them working with all of those students that they worked with. And we have a great group of horses here now, and a little bit of a surprise for you later. So make sure you
Stay
don't
tuned.
look away.
Don't leave.
What's Rico saying? He's bid. Yes, get on and bid.
Yes, thank you for that. Awesome reminder. This is actually a fundraiser, so we are here to raise revenue for Camelot.
We are. We're going to have fun, but we'd like to raise money for this excellent program, which once again does not charge for services. So I would like to introduce to you Tony B. He has been involved with Camelot since Camelot's first Starry Nights in 2010, 11 years ago. He is a national touring comedian and actor, and you can watch his debut comedy special, Tony B. Daydrinker, on Amazon Prime or listen on Spotify.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. It is my absolute pleasure to be hosting Starry Nights. I love this organization. I'm always happy to help out whenever they need me for anything. So it's great to be with you all, and thank you all for joining us. And thank you all for everyone that's bidding on auction items. We all need you, so thank you so much. You know, as Hannah said, I do remember the very first Starry Nights in 2010, I believe. Hi, Alicia. And one of the reasons I remember it so well is because Dr. Andy Ehrlich was the keynote speaker, and he told this absolutely fascinating story about was it his Uncle Jake?
His uncle.
Uncle Jake. I remember it so well. Like, what was it? Yeah. But it was a fascinating story, and I was hoping Andy was going to be here tonight, but I am told that he is. And Mary, if you want to take it away.
Yes, we have a nice little... Welcome, everyone. Because of a scheduling conflict, I'm pre-recording for you an interview with Dr. Andrew Ehrlich. Andy was our keynote speaker at our first Starry Nights, and he shared the story of Jack Earl, who at one time was the world's tallest man. Jack was an acclaimed circus performer with the Ringling Brothers Circus. He was a Hollywood actor, an artist, and poet, and he was Andy's Uncle Jake. Please welcome Dr. Andrew Ehrlich. Good morning, Andy. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, Mary. It's a pleasure to be here for Camelot.
So you're here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about your Uncle Jake. Can you tell me, what is your earliest memory of Uncle Jake?
Well, my earliest memory is my only memory because Jake died on my 3rd birthday. But in this memory, I was at my grandmother's and grandfather's home, and Jake was tossing me up in the air playing with me. And my grandmother was confusing her 3 sons' names, as frightened parents often do. So her 3 sons were my Uncle Ben, the oldest boy, my dad, Meyer, was the youngest, and Jake was the middle child. So she says, Benny, Meyer, Jake, you put him down, he'll bang his head, he'll bang his head. See, Grandma was worried I was going to hit my head on the ceiling.
It's a great memory. I'm glad you have that. You wrote about Jake's life in your book, The Long Shadows. Can you share a favorite story with me?
So Jake was making one of his movies. He actually made close to 50 silent films. And it was the last film that he made, and he injured himself doing one of his own stunts. He fell from a speeding car and he hit his head. And shortly after that, he started to go blind, and they thought it was a head injury that was causing it. But actually, it was the tumor on the pituitary, which had precipitated his phenomenal growth that had grown to the point it was pressing on his optic nerve. So they treated him, and they didn't really know what they were doing, treated him with x-rays, and he was pretty weak after that. He came home to recuperate with his mom and dad in El Paso. While he was there, Ringling Brothers Circus came to town. Jake's buddies kept trying to convince him that Jake was taller than the tall man. So Jake and his friends went to the circus. They go into the sideshow, and Jake is a full foot taller than the professional giant. And that's how Jake was discovered for the circus.
So Jake's disability was very visible, but my guess is it wasn't really well understood. But at the same time, he was able to capitalize on it. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, when in those days, people like Jake would often be shut-ins because their families were embarrassed by them, and people didn't have a way to earn a living. So Jake basically turned that around, and he was an introvert and very depressed originally before he went to Hollywood and started discovering all these talents that he had. But he turned it around. He became a showman. So Jake took what was a liability and he turned it into an asset. And this is where I think Camelot comes in, because Jake was able to change his perspective about himself. And I think that's part of the wonderful work that is done at Camelot, that we're here to help tonight. At the circus, the other show people in the Midway, or what they called in those days the freak show, were really supportive of one another, and they stayed lifelong friends.
Other wonderful items that we have available for our guests. Thank you. I'm hearing that we've got a couple of technical difficulties. There are apparently solar flares taking place, which might interfere with our broadcast this evening. But I really hope that everyone sticks it out and stays with us. And Mark Protho, I did see that comment. Ray's not going far. Whether or not I can talk him into being back in front of the camera is another story.
Well, I really enjoyed that interview with Andy Ehrlich. I have a copy of his book. He was gracious enough to give me one at that first Starry Night, so I recommend everyone pick it up. And also, you see us drinking out of these lovely cups, everyone. You could be the proud owner of 2 of these mugs in the next 15 minutes. If you donate $50 or more, you will get 2 of these mugs. You can scan the QR code, or you could visit camelotaz.org/giving. And here's the thing, though. You could donate even more than $50, because the more you donate, the better that morning coffee is going to taste. Believe me. So get on that right now and help us out and get yourself some of these mugs.
Thank you. And just a reminder to everyone that we will be posting the entire recorded video. If you lose part of the feed tonight and you have to log back on, we will be posting the entire video in its entirety. We are recording. So a shout out to Mark, Lynn, Stacy, Kate, Ann, Chuck, and Leslie. Thank you so much for your comments. Hi, Lynn. So much fun. We did our wonderful coffee ask. What else, Ange?
Well, now it's time for your interview, Hannah, by me.
Okay. Ooh, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Tell me if you could share 1 or 2 of your best memories in your time with Camelot.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I have so many. I was thinking earlier today about something kind of funny. We had a little bit of time in between 2 of the riding classes. So we had some students still here from a class, I believe the 1:30 class, and the 3 o'clock class were meandering in. And hey, Phil, I do like to play some holiday music around Halloween and around the holidays. So we had some music going and we were dancing. Hey, Sasha. and we pulled out all of our hula hoops. Well, we have students here with obviously varying degrees of mobility and students that are in a power wheelchair or a manual wheelchair. So without a thought, we just all started hula hooping. Mary is very good at hula hooping on her knees. I can get it around my waist and get it going a little bit. And some of our students were handed a hoop and perhaps didn't know what to do, and we told them just go for it. So hula hoops were flying around the hands and around the arms and shooting all over the barn. And all of the horses were in the stalls at that time, and gosh, they don't care. I think they enjoyed that just as much as we did. But that's an experience that will definitely stick in my mind as just an experience of inclusion and fun without giving much thought to how anyone looked or no performance anxiety. It was just a come as you are moment.
That sounds amazing. I have a couple more questions for you,
okay,
if you don't mind.
All right.
Now, these are serious.
Okay.
Do you prefer dogs or horses?
What about a dog riding a horse?
Oh, my Lord. What an answer. Here's the most important question, and I know the viewers out there want to know. If Ray were a horse on Camelot, which horse would he be and why?
Well, oh gosh, that's a tough one. Which horse is Ray? He might be Cliffy.
Okay.
Kind of awesome.
Tell me why. Why Cliffy?
Cliffy kind of has his own set of rules. And Ray also lives by his own set of rules. He's still contained on the property, but kind of just does his own thing, and everybody knows about that.
Ray's off camera. He's loving this, by the way. He is eating this up.
He's pretty rogue. He goes rogue.
He does. Yeah, he does.
Well, Hannah, thank you. That's all the questions I have for you right now.
That wasn't too terrible. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So here you see our student Katie, who has been a Camelot student since 2016. And she has had ground lessons up until just about 3-4 weeks ago when she rode in this wheelchair accessible vehicle for the very first time. So here you are seeing her being lifted into the carriage for the second time. This was her second driving lesson. So again, she was at Camelot as a Camelot student for 5 years, learning how to groom, how to lead, learning about horse care before we were ready with our horse here, Big Jim, also known as K2. Before we were ready to hook him up to this vehicle, hitch him, and drive him with the wheelchair accessible carriage. So this is 5 years of preparation for not just Katie, the student, but also for our horse. So thank you to the K2 Foundation for funding his purchase. Thank you to Brett Barker for providing his initial wonderful training. Brett Barker is our local carriage driving expert. He took this horse who had virtually no training, although Christina at the time had done an absolutely phenomenal job teaching him to lead, teaching him to be ridden under saddle. And then he went to this driving training with Brett and his assistant Elmo Teston. Together they have 150, I don't want to give away their ages, but they probably have 150 years of experience combined. And they were able to teach Big Jim to pull a wagon. So we worked with him. He came back and we worked with him then for years, again 5 years to get to this point. So you see also in the back of this wagonette we have multiple trained volunteers, and these are not just people off of the street. These ladies that you see have gone through hours and hours of training, so they know how to help Katie get in and out of this wagonette using that automatic Sure Hands lift that was funded by Granger. Thank you very much. That is just an invaluable resource to us. And they also know how to help in the event of an emergency, which is extremely important. We have someone here in a wheelchair strapped in while this carriage is moving. So if something happens and we need to get her out, there is a ramp in the back of that wagon that we can fold down, and with the help of all of these people that you see pictured here, we can safely remove the driver in the wheelchair by rolling them down that ramp. And that is a huge undertaking that we have taken on as Camelot. I am a Path International certified therapeutic driving instructor. There are only 100 of us in the world, in the entire world. So what's even more amazing about that is Rebecca is also a Path International certified therapeutic carriage driving instructor. Whew, it's a lot of words. There are 2 of us here out of 100 in the world. So we are able to do this absolutely amazing feat that you see. It looks simple and easy. It is because we've practiced it, we've trained for it, and we've put all of the safety protocols in place to make this work. And what a wonderful experience for Katie and students like Katie who are not able to sit astride a horse. They get to participate just like those students who get to ride. They get the same therapeutic benefits without having to leave a wheelchair. We're taking her from one chair that's supporting her to another in the carriage where she can feel very stable while still getting the movement and the input from the horse. So now we have someone that's closing the gate. She's just as integral. We have someone who's supporting this student behind. We have lots of people watching to make sure that everyone's out of the way of the horse. We're doing absolutely everything as safe as we possibly can. And it's just an astounding confluence of everything coming together to make it go right. Got my coffee mug here. I've got to watch out for that. So here she is being lowered back into her chair. We've got Rebecca supervising the unharnessing. We have Mary there as the horse lead. The horse lead has to be extremely trained as well because this is a 1,500-pound horse. He cannot see with those winkers on. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things that I've done in my life, and I get to do it every week. So it's just fantastic.
Well, I think it's incredible. Not everyone gets to see the amount of work that goes into everything, the amount of preparation. Could you briefly talk about how difficult it was, what you had to go through to become one of only 100 Path certified carriage driving instructors?
So I have a lifetime of work with horses and with riding and teaching experience, but I knew nothing about driving horses, and it's its own specialized area. So I sought out training from, which is very cool, Rebecca, who was working at the Phoenix Zoo, from Brett Barker, who was absolutely instrumental, and his assistant, our friend Elmo Tustin, also out in Rio Verde. I went to Chino Valley, and I worked with Patricia Demers. I was all over the valley looking for this expert input so that I could receive the number of hours and the information that I needed. So it took about 3 years until I was finally able to go get certified in New Hampshire. So they don't offer the certification just here, there, and everywhere. It was very specifically timed. It was a pass or fail experience, and quite a bit went into it.
It's amazing.
Would you like to know anything else?
No, I'm sorry. It's a well-oiled machine here. I know how to run things. No, I believe we have a slideshow for everyone now. We do not. And now it is time for a little help here.
Student slideshow.
Yeah, I thought we were doing the slideshow. What?
We got Gary.
Oh, we've got Gary.
I had that's before Gary.
No, Gary's here now.
All right,
He's in the green room during the
everyone.
where the student slideshow's next.
There's Gary.
Okay.
We got Gary. Everyone, we got
Gary?
an interview with Gary.
Out.
Mary is gonna let us know about Gary.
Go.
I'm not on the screen.
It's me and Hannah on the screen.
Oh. How about that?
Oh, well, hi, Gary. I can see you peek. There you are. I see you. Thank you so much. I understand that you are in La Paz, Mexico on vacation, calling in to participate in. Thank you very, very, very much. What's the weather like there?
The weather's absolutely fantastic, and as you can see by the background here, that's exactly where I am, in a little dropout fishing place in La Paz, Mexico.
Hey, I'm curious. Is there a gentleman there with you tonight by the name of Gary Schneider?
John and Tracy, Stacy Snyder. Yes, very good friends who were down here on the trip. And when they heard about what we were doing and everything else, they just jumped right online and made a donation.
I'm telling you, you just surround yourself with talent. You know, you've been a strong supporter of Camelot for many, many years. And you're very, very, very philanthropic by nature. You know, if you define philanthropy, it's defined as the desire to promote the welfare of others, expressed especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Camelot is not the only cause that you support, as I understand. There are a couple of programs that you are that you've dedicated your time and life to. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Sure. As you know, my love is doing auctions, and I absolutely miss everybody and the ability to be able to get out and do them all. But my attitude about that aspect of it is, if it's something I can support, I'm your auctioneer. So I do, a few of them, as many as I possibly can each year. Besides yours, that is very close and dear to my heart, is the Worcester Adaptive Sports, which is kind of a little bit along the same lines. The Boys and Girls Club I've done, and various foundations up in Worcester, which is originally my hometown. But you guys, as you know, are my favorites.
Well, I love hearing that. That's music to my ears. And Gary, you bring such a fun element to our events. We're really looking forward to next year's Starry Nights and being able to meet in person. There's no greater auctioneer we could ever have in our program.
You're way too kind. So I've been sitting down here fishing and had a great day. We got a whole bunch of Dorado, mahi, and I got a sailfish.
Wow.
Oh, look.
Grace got a picture of you with, I think that was the tuna, I think, in that photo. We don't have a
that was
picture
the
of
Dorado
sailfish.
that was in
Wow.
a Dorado that was in that photo. You're very clever, you folks. But when you sit in a boat and you have a lot of time to think, a lot of thoughts that came to mind was, here I am in an unbelievable place, and none of us can ever get to where we are if we didn't have somebody to help us at some point in our life. A teacher, a friend, a beautiful lady.
Hi! Hi, Leslie.
And if you just think back to that and think of all of the great things of life that you have today, it just makes you want to be able to find a way to help lift others. And for me, that's just a big part of it. If an opportunity to give a little bit back, maybe help somebody, give them a little foot up to allow them to be able to achieve what they would like to achieve. So being able to be involved in these sorts of things is a great honor for me, and truly a privilege.
Well, thank you, Gary. There's a saying: start small, but start, and support those programs you believe in. I think that's probably something that resonates deeply with you.
Very, very, very much so. And I'm going to. I read this out at, I think, the very first auction that again, I had the privilege of doing with you guys. And I want to read it again because it's one of my favorite Chinese proverbs. If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's, this program wouldn't exist as it does today if that philosophy didn't, really live deep in the hearts of all of our volunteers. It's beautiful. We are so very, very fortunate to have you join us. Well, got a little bit of lag time there.
And as I've done at the live auctions, I always like to see if I can find a way to help spur along some people's donations. So what I'd like to do is match the next $2,500 of donations that would come in. So I'm encouraging everybody to call, sign in, make a donation. Everybody I know likes to take money out of my pocket, and you have an opportunity now to take $2,500 of mine. So please get in there and donate and take my money, please.
Absolutely. That is fantastic. Thank you, thank you. And we will be promoting this as the evening plays out. Thank you. That is an amazing, beautiful gift. So if you didn't hear, Gary has offered to do a match to $2,500 for the next contributions that come in. So bid big, guys. Come on and make your contributions. Thank you, Gary. That is amazing. We are so very, very fortunate that you have taken a seat at the Camelot Round Table. And my heart goes to you and Leslie. Thank you.
And to all of you guys as well.
Oh, are you bringing any of that tuna back to Arizona?
No, we eat it right off of the boat, and then all of the great team here at the lodge takes fish home for dinner.
Nice, nice. Well, we'll have to just get together for dinner with some local fresh fish. Is there such a thing as local fresh fish in Arizona? Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you for joining us during your vacation. And Leslie, it was wonderful to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, that was pretty amazing. And
Yeah,
what
incredible.
a cool surprise. So
Yeah.
are we still in that 15-minute window right now for the coffee mugs?
we are probably...
Are we past that?
we
I
have
believe-
officially passed the coffee
Okay.
mug. So this is going to be funding towards that $2,500 match. And keep those contributions coming. I think we're...
Do the match.
And don't forget that to match Gary's 25 bid, just scan the QR code or visit camelotaz.org/giving. So yeah, give all you can, open your hearts, and we need you.
So we're over here. We are getting ready to draw
Do a...
for the... Woo!
Ooh.
There's a lot of contributions in here from...
Oh, the sticker on here. This was Shirley and Robin's reminder that this happens at 6:30. So, I think, like last year, I'm going to do a little bit more mixing, not peeking. And then, Ray, are you going to be the hand that reaches out into the bowl to draw the winning ticket? Now, the ticket holder must be watching. They need to comment or call in 480-515-1542, where Robin and Shirley are standing by to answer the phone. And the winning.
I promise I didn't look.
It's my sister.
Oh, how funny.
Oh.
Liz, are you watching? You have 5 minutes. What time is it? It's 6:36. 5 minutes to
Liz, you have
text
5
or
minutes.
call. You can text my phone. My phone is close by.
You have Mary's
You got
number, Liz.
You got to be watching to win.
I want to give a shout out to Alicia, Peg, Stacy, Amanda, Rico, Sasha, Michelle, and Olivia, who have all sent us comments. Thank you. A lot of you were thanking Gary, so thank you once again, Gary, for that matching contribution. And again, anyone who's watching, you can call, scan the code, or go to the website to do a matching contribution of up to $2,500. So please help us get there. Go on now.
Yeah, I mean, you think
make
about
those
it.
donations.
You donate $100 and it's going to be automatically matched by another 100. So
It's doubled. It's doubled.
yeah, you can, if you want to do proxy, call. If you're not familiar with how to scan the QR code or to get to our platform, by all means, 480-515-1542. Call in and just give Robin or Shirley your name and number, and we will we can make that contribution happen.
I'm back. It's me. Oh, so we just saw a wonderful slideshow. Our volunteers are absolutely incredible. We could not do any of this without them. We have volunteers in the morning. We have volunteers in the afternoons. We have volunteers on the weekends. So thank you so much. And we have Rebecca Thompson. Hey, Karen. She is our barn manager. She's also a riding instructor. And Rebecca, all of our morning volunteers see her out there. She is not very good at sitting still. So she is constantly working horses. She is constantly working the arena, cleaning up, raking. Hi, Jenny.
Oh, that's my friend Jenny.
That's Mary's friend Jenny. It's very exciting.
This is Liz. And,
it's
and they're
Liz.
both watching.
Liz is watching.
Liz and Jenny are
Oh, you did it. Ooh, this is clapping in sign language.
Woohoo.
Okay, so we're just excited about that. Yeah, we have a winner on the first try this time. I guess Anthony and I are good. We're good luck. You meet us here. So anyhow, Rebecca is wonderful. She's a wonderful riding instructor in the afternoon. All of her students love her. She brings with her a wealth of experience from work at the Phoenix Zoo, as well as working with Arabian show horses. So she's used to long hours out there in the hot and the heat, which is just wonderful for all of us that she is willing to be out there making sure that everything is going great with the horses and also those morning volunteers. So thank you, Rebecca. Who's our next staff member, Ray? Oh, it's Alicia! Everyone knows Alicia. She has been around since 1996, I believe, since she was 12 years old. So Alicia is really represents what Camelot is about. She started out as a student under Eileen, our founder, and she worked her way up. She saw Eileen as an inspiration, and she really changed her life. It really changed the course of her life, and she became a riding instructor, something I'm sure she never thought that she would be able to do when she first came to Camelot as a 12-year-old. So we love Alicia. She is not only an awesome riding instructor, but she is an awesome mentor, and she is an awesome ambassador for everything that Camelot stands for. So thank you, Miss Alicia. Hey, Rico. Robin is our office manager. When you come into the building, she's usually the first person when you come into the office. She's right there. Her desk is right there by the door. And I have to tell you, Anthony is funny. I know it's his job, and I think I'm pretty darn funny. But Robin is the funniest person at Camelot. And you might not know that until you spend a little bit of time with her, but she is absolutely hysterical. She's also extremely generous, and she takes care of us all. She brought us a ton of food tonight, which is just absolutely who she is. We are just so lucky. She has been with Camelot for a very long time, and we are just thrilled to have her. Thanks, Robin. Kathy Gorham. She is our weekend ranch hand. So she's here on the weekends. Saturdays, Sundays, both. She's feeding the horses lunch. She is cleaning out there in the pastures, and she is supervising our weekend volunteers, which is an amazing resource. What's happening, Rico? Oh,
the glue.
Rico says Robin is the glue of the organization, and we will second that. That's amazing. Thank you, Rico. So Kathy is just awesome. Not only is she here every single weekend taking care of those horses, bringing them in and out of the stalls during the hot summer months, making sure everybody is fed and watered and cleaned up, checking for injuries, doing all kinds of things, but she's also a Wednesday afternoon volunteer. She helps out with the students every single Wednesday as a volunteer, and we just absolutely love having her out here. She's so much fun. She's always dressed impeccably. You cannot compete with Kathy's outfits. She's just too cool.
It's like a catalog.
It is. It's like looking at a catalog. She's just too cool. So thank you, Kathy.
It's true. Cough Drop made it clear. The lessons must be perfect all the year.
Allah was made a distant moon ago here. We never charge for lessons, we do not. And all the students really love to go here at Camelot.
Camelot!
There are so many fun times to remember. And we have shade in case it gets too hot. But we don't have to ride during September at Camelot. Camelot.
Camelot.
I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but at Camelot.
Camelot!
That's how conditions are. The chores are never done till after sundown. By 8 the morning hay must reappear. In short, there's simply not a more congenial spot for happily ever aftering than here at Camelot. Camelot.
Camelot!
I know it gives a person pause, but at Camelot, Camelot, those are the legal laws. Safe helmets must be worn by all the riders, and boots or shoes when there are horses near. In short, there's simply not a more congenial spot for happily ever aftering than here at Camelot. In short, there's simply not a more congenial spot for happily ever aftering than here at Camelot.
I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And right now, I would actually like to propose a toast to everyone here and everyone out there watching Starry Nights with our lovely, if you notice, these champagne glasses are amazing. That is the Camelot C right there. And if you make a donation of $50 or more in the next 15 minutes, we will send you 2 of these lovely champagne glasses. All you have to do, scan the QR code or visit camelotaz.org/giving. And remember, we're still, all these donations, they're getting matched. So a $50 glass of champagne, pretty good. $100 glass of champagne, even better. And you will have a grand glass of champagne if you donate a grand. Clever jokes here today at Camelot. But please, help us out all you can. We appreciate all your help, and here's to you all. Cheers.
Oh, and the lovely Miss Shirley just came running around the corner to tell us that Jeannie Osbaugh and John Osbaugh just donated $500.
Ooh, a toast to
Amazing.
Jeannie. Thank you,
Yes.
Jeannie. Woo.
Thank you all very much.
Awesome. Hey, Judy. Hey, Amanda. I've seen comments from Aaron, from Karen B, from Katie. Hey, Marcia. We've got just a lot of people who are tuning in to watch us here in the office, giving them a great show. But we are so thankful for all of you at home. We are so thankful for all of you who are calling in with donations, who are going to that website, who are scanning that QR code. Mary's trying to
I'm trying to read the
from
comments.
Stacy. Hey, Stacy. I think she says, cheers for hulas.
Aw.
Love that. I've got some
That was
great
super fun.
Stacy memories as well. Stacy was an awesome Camelot student for many years, and I won't share all of the funny things that happened, Stacy, but she knows what I'm talking about.
My favorites are just her running up the sidewalk.
Yes, yeah. She's so great. She is so great.
I don't think there's anyone that has more enthusiasm for life than Stacy.
Stacy, we miss you, Stacy. Hey, Felicia. I'm so happy to see you tuning in.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. Oh. The lovely Miss Shirley was asking if the sweepstakes winner had contacted us, and indeed she has. My sister Liz is with her and one of my dear friends, Jenny, watching in Park City, Utah. So
wow.
Yes, she has contacted us, so we have a winner.
I think that's the best thing about these virtual events, although, we'd all love to be together in person, seeing each other face to face, but what is so wonderful about these virtual events is people are participating from all over the U.S. So very cool. We've got Laura Catton.
Okay.
What is the phone number? Laura, the phone number is 480-515-1542. Mary, do you want to repeat it?
480-515-1542. Now, Laura, who just asked for...
And it's me. All right, thank the Lord.
Okay.
I was sweating there for a minute.
Ray went rogue on us again.
Just like Clippy, I'm telling you. There's Liz. She says, so excited to be a part of that. So wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah,
Liz.
it's so fun to see the comments and people everywhere being able to tune in and participate. So Laura goes back to our childhood days of when we had horses and rode at the base stables at Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. Liz and Laura were glued at the hip, getting into as much trouble as possible on a daily basis out at the barn. So, Laura, thank you very much. Waiting to hear that phone ring.
I see a comment from Michelle. I almost answered that question. So many of you know Michelle. She sat in the chair that I sit in now for, I believe, 14 years. She's now an accomplished author. Oh, we've got a question.
We have a question. Mark Propros just texted and asked if we're going to have a live auction. We're not going to have a live auction, but we are going to have the equivalent of a paddle raise for a fund in need. So as far as auction goes, the auction is silent, but we've got some fantastic items, Mark. There are things on that list there that you need. The Valley of the Gods.
We do have
You
a
need to
wonderful silent auction. There are some items. Oh, I hear the phone ringing.
I was really
would.
It's great. Yeah, we've had a lot of donations that are coming in via the website and the QR code, but we are very excited to hear an actual phone. It's kind of like going back in time. You don't hear a landline ringing that often.
Yeah,
it is like
This
one of those
really isn't a
PBS.
landline, which is really confusing
it's
for
an
us.
internet phone, but we
Voice
don't
over
understand
internet.
it. We just use it.
And I did teach Robin and Shirley how to answer it.
Yeah.
We are
you're out
ready.
there. Thank you, Robin and Shirley, for being out there and taking the calls and handling all of this behind the scenes. Thank you.
Ask another question while we're waiting for Chris.
Do you remember when you were waiting for Chris? How many years ago was that?
I don't know if
that
people
same
know who Chris
situation.
is. So Chris is Barbara's bringer.
He's her owner on paper, but he also knows that she really belongs to me and to Camelot.
So Chris is Barbara's official owner, although she is not leaving Camelot. But he had his own children, so we used to see Chris quite a bit in person. He had 2 foals here. Barbara birthed out 2 fillies. A filly and a colt. And a colt, yeah. So we did see him during that time.
We've got another big
Campbell!
announcement. Kate Campbell!
Cheers to Kate Campbell!
Yay!
$500.
Cheers!
Thank you, Kate.
Cheers.
Thank you, Kate.
Kate has over 20 years of volunteer time put in at Camelot. She's also an excellent knitter. Please bid on her beautiful Outlander shawl.
Her
Yes.
shawl
It's
is just
gorgeous.
stunning.
It
Hi,
is amazing.
Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Nancy, hello.
Angel.
So yeah, really funny story.
Katie.
Speaking of Chris and his coming to Camelot, so I got a phone call one afternoon. Somebody was interested in the program, so I returned the phone call, and he says real quick, "Oh, I'm in the OR. I'll call you back." And I'm thinking, you're in the OR. You're gonna have an operation, and you're answering your phone. And I just found that such an odd thing, but it's also very Chris.
Yes.
So he had the idea that his family has raised Andalusians since he was a child, and he's now an adult, and he was through his school, and his work was settled, and he wanted to start his own breeding program, and he had the idea that he would look for a couple of brood mares, some Andalusians that would be his, and he wanted them to have a job in addition to having babies. And so he thought, what better job for one of my brood mares is to be a therapy horse at a program. So as in typical fashion, we did finally connect on the phone, and I gave him a homework assignment. I suggested after he came out to see the facility that he also check out other programs in the area, and he came through the gates and had made a firm decision. He wanted to be involved with the program. He started horse shopping, found Barbara, and she has arrived, and she stole my heart from the second I met her, and she's been a tremendous
We have
addition
a
to our
couple of
program.
students, and I know 2 of them are watching. Lynn and John are both watching right now. They've sent in some comments and hearts and things like that, and they ride Barbara every week. They love her, and I will tell you that Barbara, I'm guessing this is probably part of the Andalusian breed. Barbara picks her people, and she really knows and takes care of those students. She knows John, she knows Lynn. She gets to know the people that ride her week after week, year after year, and oh my goodness, it's just fantastic to watch that beautiful mind work. And she is a big horse. She's almost as big as Big Jim, but she's just so, I think of her almost as dainty, like a ballerina.
She's when she touches the ground, she's very soft, and her movement, it's like a hot knife through butter, which is something that's really very, very beneficial for our students.
Absolutely.
And she's probably the one horse that over our summer break that our students will get calls from, and they either ask how she's doing or they ask if they can come out and visit her because they love her so much.
She is a special horse and the most beautiful.
Yes, she is.
We've lost Anthony.
You're back. Hey, sorry. Oh my
Can't
lord.
leave our trio
I just
there.
want to make you all sweat. So all right, we have another special guest coming up, as Mary was just talking about, Mr. Chris Hensley. I actually interviewed Chris Hensley a little while back I waited on him then too. No, but yeah, I interviewed him a little while back, years back, and it didn't go so well. Well, happy you could make it. Hair looks great, by the way.
I know.
So, can you please state your name and what exactly do you do at Camelot?
Tony, you know what? I think actually my better side is the other side. Do you mind if we switch spots?
You want to switch? This is just going to be shown at Starry Nights. Everybody knows you. I really don't think it'll be a big deal. So let's just continue the interview. It won't take long. In this video, I'm trying to give people the inside scoop of Camelot, something nobody else knows, and only people like you on the inside can tell us. Hey, Chris.
Hey there.
I'm glad you could join us.
Absolutely, I wouldn't miss it.
All right. Is this your good side, Ray? Do we have the angle right? Chris, are you okay? I always switch it. I don't know about it. I think both sides are Chris's good side. Can we all agree on that, everyone? I think we all agree. But Chris, thank you so much for being here. Where are you coming from right now?
Well, right now I'm actually at a Halloween party for our kids. So they're now having a good time, and I'm up here having a good time with you.
All right, great. Well, again, we appreciate you joining us. If you would, could you tell us how you first got involved with Camelot?
Well, in 2010, I moved to Phoenix. I was just finishing my residency as an anesthesiologist. And my family has always been involved in charities. And so giving back to communities and being involved is just something that I've grown up with. My mother ran an institute called the Southwest SIDS Research Institute, which studied sudden infant death syndrome, and she was one of the premier researchers in the in that arena, and this was a nonprofit, and all of the families they didn't have to pay for services. And so, in that vein, I wanted to find something where I could contribute to the community where I lived, and that was one of the first things that I sought out when I moved to the Phoenix area. And at the same time, I was looking for a horse. So horses have also been part of my life, and since I was a child. And so I was looking to buy a horse, and I imagined starting this busy career, and maybe once or twice a week being able to come out and see the horse and ride the horse. And I just thought, this is not fair to the horse, and it's an underutilization of the the asset, and this gift that horses bring to other people's lives. And if I wasn't going to experience that, then I wondered if there was a charity that could utilize the horse that I was going to buy. And so I started calling around, and I called Mary, and we spent over an hour on the phone on our first phone call, and went back and forth between their website and my parents' website and their ranch, and it was instantaneously a friendship and a bond that we knew would never be broken. And I started coming out to Camelot. I purchased the horse Barbara after looking and after having this conversation with Mary, and the criteria that the horse that I was looking for had to meet Camelot's criteria. And so that's what I did. I bought Barbara with the intention of her being a Camelot horse.
and the rest is history.
I think that's incredible. I happen to know personally that Barbara is a favorite here at Camelot, always has been. Could you tell me a little bit about Andalusian horses and why do you feel like they are so special?
Um, they're really special horses. They're one of the ancient breeds. They're special because they have both this the athleticism and this calm demeanor and personality. So they have, you know, brio. So brio is this idea that there's uh, a, a sense of calm but energy. So not energy in the sense that that it's flighty or out of fear, but just pure strength, energy that comes out of just joy and out of the ask as opposed to out of fear. And you know, these horses were used for, I mean, blood sport. They were Roman war horses. They were bullfighting horses, and they were also the horse of royalty. So at the same time that this breed of horse was being used on the battlefield and being used to fight bulls, they were also having to carry, you know, fat old guys who, you know, couldn't tolerate a fall. And so they, you know, over the course of, you know, thousands of years or hundreds of years, they you know, the breeding went that direction. So they had to both be calm, they had to be accepting, and also, not incidentally, it was the stallion that was the royal riding horse. So you had to have a personality where two stallions could ride side by side with royalty on their back and behave, and then that same, you know, those same genetics had to be able to get into the arena with a bull. And so you ended up with this horse that has this amazing personality, but is also extraordinarily athletic and durable. And so that's the story of the Andalusian horse in a nutshell.
I love it, and I could tell you're very passionate about them. I There's a lot there I didn't know. I think some of that explains why I'm always, whenever I'm going to ride a horse, I'm told to ride an Andalusian because I can't take a fall. I got back problems, Chris. Um, I
It
have
happens.
what's that? I'm sorry.
It happens as you get a bit older.
Oh, I know. I just hit the big 4-0. But I have another question for you. Now, your kids, they take riding lessons, and they're in a mainstream program. Can you talk about how that compares to the lessons here at Camelot?
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, that's a very good point and an excellent question. And I think that the biggest thing is the first thing is the expense. So, you know, to get in the door, to maintain a horse, it is extraordinarily expensive. I mean, the daily maintenance, the farrier, the feed, the vet, all of these things are extraordinarily expensive. The space that they require, you know, the human beings that, in, you know, if you're outside of a charity, that you have to pay to keep the horses stalls and their living environment clean and healthy. All of that, it adds up, and it becomes something, uh, not just a significant barrier, but it is more often an insurmountable barrier for many families. And so, you know, our girls, you know, we pay quite a bit, you know, every month to have them take lessons, and then to board another horse that we have here, and training for that horse. And so it's a very significant commitment and expense, and it's a gift that Camelot gives to their students, and that can't happen without somebody else helping to support that infrastructure and all of the things that are required to keep these horses healthy, safe, and in top shape to serve the community that we live in, and to serve the students at Camelot. And so um, beyond that, Camelot provides an environment where I remember this conversation about risk with Mary, and how much empowerment that I could see that she transmits, and Camelot transmits to its students about, you get to have control over your life. You get to think about the risks that you're taking. We're going to help you to minimize those and make it the best environment that you can possibly learn in. But we're not going to remove risk from your environment. You get to make some decisions about what level of risk you're going to take. And that's something that is exactly like the mainstream programs that our kids are in. We get to choose, and many of the students that come to Camelot in other areas of their life, this physical risk, they are often, those choices are made for them. And this is a place where they get to be empowered and take on those risks for themselves and make that decision for themselves. And so it's really an amazing place and an amazing program for that reason.
Yeah, and I appreciate that answer. You really hit the nail on the head there. Chris, we appreciate you joining us. But before we let you go, Ray, we understand you're an avid outdoorsman and you like to hunt. Ray actually he snapped a photograph of you hunting quail, and we're wondering if you could give an explanation of this photo. Ray, if you please. When Chris was quail hunting. There it is there. I think, I've seen quail hunting before. I've never seen it done quite in that way. It looks like you're filming Ben-Hur or something. If you can, is that an ancient way of hunting that?
Yeah, that's that's back to the Romans, right? That's back to the heritage of the horses. That was part of a promotion for the breed and the ranch that I participated in.
I love it. Taking it back old school. That's the Chris Hensley style. I love it. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate you. Have fun at the Halloween party. But again, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Oh, that was so funny. That photo was so funny. Oh my gosh.
But what a great interview. I thought he gave some really great insight. I thought he explained the importance of how expensive all of this actually is, and which is why we need nights like this and why we need you out there to bid and donate. So we're very much appreciative of that.
And I do want to say thank you to Erin Riley, who sent $50 in, so she'll get those champagne glasses. And again, that's matching. It's part of Gary Raymond's match. So her $50 has now become $100. So thank you so much, Erin, for doing that.
And I've also been alerted by the lovely Shirley that we have some auction items that still have no bids. So be sure to check out the offerings because there are some bargains to be had.
And that auction is closing at 7:30. Is that right?
17 minutes.
Oh, 17 minutes left in the
minutes.
auction. I'm still getting some items that I really, really want. So please go on and bid, but maybe don't bid on my items. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but yeah. Exciting!
Get those bids in. Get those bids in.
So kind of, going back. Never mind.
So there's the QR code. You see that, or visit camelotaz.org/giving and really help us out. You guys have been amazing so far, but we still got time. So let's get those in. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mary Hadsell one more time. She has a very special message for us. So here, Mary, please.
Oh, thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Chris. Thank you, Gary, for tuning in from out of your homes. I spent a lot of time preparing for this evening. As months go into our event preparations, and as I started thinking about, what's the message? What do I want to talk about? The future, the health of the program was at the forefront of my mind. I'm being asked really quite frequently, how is Camelot doing? And I'm happy to say we're doing very well. But to truly understand the future for Camelot, I think it's really important to think back to Camelot's beginnings and look back and review a little of the history of the program. Our beginnings were very humble. In the process of going through materials and kind of preparing, I found myself digging through some old photographs. And in particular, I found a very old photo album. Its pages have long turned yellow. When I opened up the book, the actual spine just was disintegrating in my hands. And in addition to pictures with Eileen from back at the Dragon Slayers program, there were some fabulous newspaper articles. And of course, I couldn't help but dig in and start reading them. And over again, Eileen was quoted. And while I read these quotes, I couldn't help but hear my own voice resonating through these newspaper articles. Many of you watching tonight know the story of Camelot and our beginning, but for those of you that don't, I'd love to share a little bit about Eileen Shahusky, Camelot's founder. Like our students, she has a physical disability. She was born with a degenerative neuromuscular disease that resulted in paralysis in all four limbs, so she's a walking quadriplegic. And but more importantly, she was born an avid horsewoman. She loved all things horses. And as a child, she spent a lot of time looking for programs where she could ride. And what she found were places that would put her on the back of a horse, but no place that would really challenge her. That was until she discovered Dragon Slayers and Joseph Rivers. It's a program in Santa Cruz, California. Once she walked through their gates, she was hooked. She studied under Joseph for 8 years, and that's where she developed her horsemanship education. And it's also where the idea of Camelot began to percolate and grow. When she was ready to move on, Joseph gave her the first 2 horses that she used to start the Camelot programs. A horse named Janik and Guinevere. And all I asked in return was that she give the services away just as she had received them for all those years in his program. Eileen made a pledge, and today we are still honoring that promise. So let me get back to those newspaper articles. They told the story of a magical kingdom where disabled children and adults could go to learn to ride, where dragon slayers could slay their mighty dragon. Everyone has a dragon inside, that tiny little voice inside your head that nags you and tells you that you can't. Dragon slayers learn how to slay that dragon. And in these newspaper articles that I was reading, I read many quotes of Eileen's. She was quoted as saying, students will learn all aspects of horsemanship. They're going to learn grooming. They're going to learn how to handle horses safely on the ground, learn veterinary skills, as well as taking field trips. She mentioned in one article that she takes time to re-educate horses coming into the program to really teach them the Camelot program methods. Sometimes it takes more than a year, she wrote. The horses must become the teacher. She says, we teach people how to fly. My favorite line, the real pearl of what I found, she wrote, she was quoted saying, students don't receive special treatment. They have to work. I believe in the therapeutic benefit of hard work and expectations. And my friends, this is the real pearl. This is the truth behind all that we do at Camelot. Oh, Lily is at the door. Hannah's going to go let her in. She has managed to get the sliding glass door open next door. Sorry about that. That was a little bit of a distraction. Hi, Lily. So the real pearl, the real genesis of what we do at Camelot is about, and it's done through horses and horsemanship education, but it's to teach students to become strong in themselves, to become independent. We want to teach self-advocacy. We want to teach through our programs the very critical and important need for volunteerism. Those ideals, Ray, just open the door for her. Those ideals and those those lessons still take place today, some 38 years after Camelot first began in the early 80s. I have an intake scheduled for Tuesday morning. My intakes, they have not varied much in the 20 years that I've been conducting them. That's when someone that's interested in the programs has a chance to come to the ranch and learn more about what we offer. They get to find out if we're a drivable distance to, and if it's achievable for them to get to the program, and they're going to receive registration paperwork. When I started doing intakes 20 years ago, I haven't varied them much. I'm still doing interviews with 7-year-olds interested in riding. Oh my gosh, now we have the rabbit wanting to come in the office. It is really a zoo here. If you can hear that, that's Jax. It's like if Lily's in the office, I'm going to be in the office. So, you know, what I really discovered during my research was that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Some people have asked, what's my biggest challenge? And one of my big challenges is to continue to do exactly what we've been doing for the last 38 years. We want to always be a program that is free to our families. We want to always encourage our students to rise and be their greatest good. But we can't do this alone. This is something that we need, and we depend on our community for the support behind all of our efforts. And this has been true for 38 years. It's going to be true tomorrow. So we are healthy today. We have a beautiful history behind us. We have a fantastic business model that we're following, and our tomorrows look fantastic. Tomorrow we will be teaching people how to fly. There's a beautiful rhythm on this ranch. The sun rises, the rooster crows, I feed the horses, I feed the rabbit.
We have $2,050 towards the match.
We have raised, I've just been given an update, we have raised $2,025 in contributions since Gary Raymond put that matching gift opportunity out there. So we are so very close to being able to capitalize on a $2,500 donation from Gary Raymond. So there's still time. Back to my keynote. What I've learned more than anything is that we are nothing if we are not consistent. And consistency breeds sustainability. We are here today and we will be here tomorrow. Thank you very, very much. I'm going to shift gears now, and at this time, I'm very proud to introduce to you our newest four-legged instructor. This, my friends, is Rooster. Rooster is a 9-year-old quarter horse cross. We're not certain what his breeding is, but we will be doing some DNA testing. So I do anticipate a very fun contest with the students and volunteers as we try to guess his breeding. But he is certainly quarter horse and something. And as Eileen said so very long ago, training is meticulous and it takes as long as it takes. But Rooster is well on his way to teaching people to fly. Welcome, Rooster.
Hey.
So, you think it's just 3 on the screen, but the truth of the matter is, it's 4.
Oh.
So as soon as Lily, hello everyone, it's Jax the therapy bunny. And
Show his feet, the bottom of his feet.
Oh,
look at those feet.
Okay, this is the
Look at those
best
big
part
feet.
of the show for sure. So as soon as Lily busted in the door, which is the most Camelot thing that could possibly happen, then the rabbit started scratching at the other door to be let in, because if Lily can be here, then my goodness, he can also be in here.
So Jax wants you to bid and make contributions and help us get to that magical $2,500.
We just need what, 450? Is my math
Yeah,
right? Rebecca, where are you with the math? 450.
We need 450 more.
And we are gonna be able to dig deep in Gary Raymond's wallet with a $2,500 contribution. We are very close.
We're almost there.
So.
I wanted to say that, Mary, your speech was amazing. 40 years of Camelot. I can't wait to see what's in store for the next 40 years. What is going on? Are you guys are you laughing at me?
I was asking Hannah in sign, will this be Rooster or is it going to be like, where's Ann?
And I want a different name. Yeah, Ann's busy. She's answering all the comments. Thank you, Ann. We really appreciate you. Everything that you were doing. The rabbit hair is fine. Everyone's about to start sneezing.
So Anthony, sorry, we weren't making fun of you. We were Hannah and I have been arguing since Rooster came through the gates about his name. She thinks he should have a different name. She thinks it should be
Cody. Karen Bishop, I'm saying it out loud. It's Cody.
I like Rooster. It's a boy chicken. Rooster. But AZTI signing. Might be wondering why horseback riders would even be interested in signing. And there are many, many reasons. When we think about our students, our student population, inclusion, for the deaf and the hard of hearing, it can be very difficult to find services in the mainstream program because instructors' liability insurance is a big issue. If someone can't hear in the event of an emergency, high wind, whatever, so a lot of mainstream instructors are very hesitant to provide services to the deaf and hard of hearing. What's another good reason?
Many of our students have had surgeries or go through life changes that they lose their hearing, or they've lost their hearing and now, we have one student in particular who lost her hearing for a while and now it's back, but she still remembers the sign, which is really fun. But it's nice that not only can we provide that inclusion for the students, we do have some volunteers that come in and that wear hearing aids and they can't hear us from far away, or they get a little bit confused about what is being said, and it's nice to be able to communicate even through simple signs. I want you to go to the right. I want you to go to the left. I can't sign because the bunny's in my other hand right now, but and it's fun for the kids to just go. Goodness gracious! It's fun for the kids to learn some of the animal signs as well. So just those basic signs. Not only are we using them in class, but once again we're being able to transmit that inclusion throughout our students' lives. So even our young children are picking up some of those basic signs, taking that out into the world, and just providing the normalcy of accessibility to everyone.
And communication. Communication is so important. I love that element about sign language, and that kind of brings me to what we're doing this evening. In our in-person events, we always have a fund and need. And often those fund and needs where we have our donors raise a paddle and they're donating for something very specific. Like we painted the building and we replaced carpeting. We bought a gator one year. So there's been all different types of paddle raises where we've raised funding. This year, my focus is on continuing education, to continue to be the Arizona program, premier program that provides the highest quality services to our students, it requires that my instructor staff have a lot of training, and that training is ongoing. We are all certified through PATH, and we all have to, we have a 20-hour continuing education requirement that we must meet every year. I budget $5,000 to $6,000 annually to help cover costs of continuing education. This year at Starry Nights, my hopes are that we can raise our paddles and we can make our contributions where funding will go towards the Camelot instructors attending AZTI's 5-day total immersion workshop this summer. I've been for multiple years. My signing is I still consider myself a beginner signer. You know, it's the wonderful thing about AZTI is you get to go, you get to, you walk in the door, everyone is welcome. They take, if you have no sign training, if you have a little bit, if you are working to become an interpreter, they take you where you are, they build upon that. At the end of the experience, they have a skit night where everybody comes together, the deaf community comes out. They're so supportive of us working so hard to
and I think it's important.
communicate.
Yeah, they are, and I think it's important to really reiterate that the teachers are deaf. They are individuals that are deaf, and that's very important to support people who are deaf who are teaching sign language. So we see these programs that are inexpensive programs on the internet that are taught by hearing individuals, and that is actually not as helpful to the deaf community as it is to go to an event like this where all of the instructors and all of the instructor assistants are deaf individuals. They come from around the country. They are excellent instructors. And they take, just like Mary said, they take people who can only gesture, who are very nervous, like I was the first year. I thought I was going to throw up, all the way up to interpreter students, to our friend Anne, who is a lapsed interpreter. She is an excellent signer. So it takes the whole gamut, and we're all there together. Talk about inclusion. It's a fabulous voice off. You cannot talk. You have to sign or write it down or lay on the ground and cry if you're not getting it. And somebody is there to help you and figure it out. And man, do you get the experience of walking in the shoes of someone whose language is not the first language in that area.
So we're trying, our goal tonight is to bring in funding for all 4 instructors. The cost of the workshop for 5 days, it includes lodging, meals, is $900 per person. So $3,600 is our...
Sorry, someone just outbid me. So who's ever doing that, you better stop it right now.
Oh, and I did get a notice from Shirley. Shirley, we are
Rude.
$125 away from. We are $125 away from the match for Gary Raymond. So we were on the brink of that. And if we feel like we've squeezed every nickel out of your pocket, run really fast to your neighbors. Bring them over. Let them watch. Get them to donate. We really want to bring funding for continuing education for the Camelot staff. And what better way to do it than to bring your friends and family over and tell them to empty their pockets.
Oh, goodness.
And we did get a message from one of our longtime volunteers and supporters with a shout out to there's a young man who has been missing from his home for a month now, and his name is Juby. His nickname is Juby. I just hope that everyone watching tonight can take a moment to embrace their family and their loved ones and send a prayer, hope, whatever your belief is, but please have Juby in your heart and on your mind as he's a former student at Camelot. We love him, we love his family, and we are all very much wanting him to be safely returned to his home. I do have a message from our founder. So, I love doing my research and I ask a lot of questions. And I talked about Eileen and her start in the program. And I wanted to find out, she's been retired now since 2004. And I know she says that she sleeps well at night. She rests easy with the health and the program as it is. But I did ask her to put into her own words what how she feels about Camelot today, many years since she has retired. So I'd like to share her words in closing tonight. Camelot's greatest strength is, and always has been, its spirit of community. The spirit is reflected in every aspect of the program. The volunteers working side by side with Mary and her staff, board members lending their expertise and counsel, students and their families pitching in and honoring the commitments, and most of all, you are the loyal and generous donors who have enabled Camelot to endure and grow. Today, nearly 40 years after its inception, Camelot continues to serve people with disabilities, honoring the original pledge made to Joseph Rivers of the Dragon Slayers to always provide services at no charge, but rather encourage service to one's community, whether that community be Camelot or the community at large. This alone is an enormous accomplishment in a culture which attaches a monetary value to everything, including the things we all know are priceless, such as the freedom and dignity students derive through the weekly lessons and relationships they enjoy at Camelot. All the while, the physical structures of Camelot have been well maintained and improved upon, while the ranch itself continues to be a place of healing and sanctuary for all who enter. What program founder could ask for more this many years after passing the torch? Today, Camelot, along with other nonprofit organizations and small businesses, continue to face challenges never before seen in our lifetimes. I find myself giving thanks every day for Mary Hadsel's inspired leadership, the life-affirming spirit of Camelot that animates the Camelot, the life-affirming spirit of community that animates Camelot. And most of all, I give thanks to the continued generosity of you, our loyal supporters, the real Starry Knights, who make all things possible year in and year out. Oh, I did just get a message from Shirley that she is going to donate the last $150 so that we have a match, fully matched Gary Raymond's pledge of $2,500. So thank you, Shirley. Thank you very, very much. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Anthony, for coming in and joining me this evening here at the ranch. Thank you, Ray, for your behind-the-scenes wizardry with the cameras. And thank you to our supporters tonight, for those at home participating this evening, for everyone that's participated over the months that the event has been building up to tonight. Our sponsors, without you, this program, we really just couldn't exist. So many, many heartfelt thanks. It's been a beautiful evening and a wonderful, wonderful Starry Nights.
Yay! Yay!
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Woohoo!
Where's Tony B performing?
Oh, Tony, where are you performing?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Little plug.
Where can we see you?
Tony B.
Where am I performing? Oh, the most important part of the night. Where am I? No. You can catch me on the 5th and 6th of November at Stir Crazy Comedy Club in Glendale. And from the 8th to the 14th, I will be in Las Vegas performing at the LA Comedy Club in the Stratosphere Hotel.
I thought Amazon.
Oh, and please.
Thanks, Ray.
Ray's a good manager.
He's a promoter.
You can watch my special, Tony B Day Drinker. It's on Amazon Prime. Or you could listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, or iTunes.
Wow.
You're out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta watch him. He's pretty darn funny.
Oh, thanks, man.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
See you in the spring for
See you
Hooves and Heroes.